DETV Sports Update is powered by DART, Delaware's transit service. Moving forward.
What's up, Delaware? The crew is back here to close out the month of July, and we've got some NFL previews to get to. Training camp is now underway across the board in the National Football League, and we're here to break down a few of the divisions. Today, we'll do so as we progress into the regular season and beyond. Jason McCall back as always, and of course, he was out and about over the weekend, and if you had to guess where he was, take a look at him. Baltimore Ravens training camp. Jason, welcome back to Delaware. How you feeling? How was training camp? Got to check out some of the action. How they looking?
Training camp was hot. Capital T's. If you saw do the right thing, today's temperature is hot. That's what it was out there. But no, Lamar's knee looked. He's fully healthy. He made some cuts and did some moves. Okay, and what I also saw though, I'm seeing the infancy stages of Todd Monken's offense. I'm seeing the intermediate game. And that's the one part of the Ravens offense that's been missing since he's been there because we haven't had one. It's either Andrews or bust. But seeing the intermediate routes and different things, different actions there, different movements, different lineups, it was great to see. Defense looks like they're going to be faster. Lost Peters to the Raiders, but you still have Geno Stone and other players there. So I would say for me, this is this is the best receiving core the Ravens have ever had, in their history. So I'm looking for big seasons from Zay Flowers, the rookie, looking at Aguilar as a number 2 or number 1A, how you ever label it. Odell's there. Still have Shamar Moore was a HBCU rookie last year from Fort Valley who should have made the active roster but didn't because
you got Bateman coming back.
But Bateman's hurt right now.
And he'll come back hopefully. Yeah.
He'll come back, but the only thing with Bateman is his health. I mean, when he's on the field, he produces. You still have Duvernay who's a good 3-4. But he also is our main returner. But Odell took some punts too at camp. So and Aguilar took some punts. So I'm like, oh, what is this? But no, I would say all the quarterbacks look like they're fresh. Shout out to the Ravens again for having all black quarterbacks again for the third year in a row. So started through backups. So I can't complain, but it was hot out there. They say it was hot. But the Ravens look like they're going to be something, and I'd be remiss. Malik Ham, City Forever, hometown hero. He went to my high school, and now he's actually a rookie playing for the Ravens, so it's crazy. That's the next jersey I'll probably get is Malik Ham, linebacker from Lafayette.
There you go. And again, Jason been lobbying for that changed offensive coordinator this year. He will get it, and we'll see what Lamar Jackson can do with some new toys on offense and a new offense to go along with it. Matt, welcome back. Matthew Maurer, as always. Now we're going to transition from the NBA. We wrapped up Summer League. We wrapped up the draft, and now it's time to shift our focus to the NFL, our division previews today. I know you're a big fantasy player. Some drafts coming up as well. How's it been? How's your research and everything going so far?
The research is like every year. I think I have all the answers, and I'll get into the draft, and I'm sure I won't have any answers. So. It's a guessing game, just educated guessing. So, I'm looking forward to the season. It's exciting trying to find out who you think is going to do what and what rookies you're going to bet on and what veterans are going to come back and do well. Odell will probably be somebody that people will be looking at to see if he can return to form. So, it's a big season.
It is a big season, and we've got our division previews. It starts today here on DETV, and we're going to start with the AFC East and the NFC South. That's why I'm wearing a little Atlanta Falcons jersey action here today. So we got 2 divisions to get to. We'll talk about those 8 teams, and that's going to be a majority of the show tonight. But before we dive right into it, we have our Dennis question of the week. So today, he's been talking about it all day. He's got a good one. So he's going to throw it up to us here early on in the show, and we're going to have right at it again. We have no idea what he's about to ask us. So Dennis, without further hesitation, here we go. After the release of Pro Football Focus's best 50 players right now list, who is the better quarterback, Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson? And this is a setup, Jason. He's setting us up here to go at it. Let's have a conversation.
Yes.
Let's start
Let's
with
have
the
a
man
conversation
wearing the
about it.
Ravens jersey. Well, you know what? Let's take this a different way. We're going to look over to Matthew Maurer here, the unbiased analyst here at the desk.
That's right.
Matt, let's start with you. Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson or Jalen Hurts, who's the better quarterback? And let me add something, a little twist here. Who would you have if you're starting a team? You're the owner, you're the GM, you're the coach. Who do you want as your quarterback? Who's the better quarterback, Lamar or Jalen?
I got to go with Jalen. I mean, right now, it's going to be a big year for Lamar. I mean, the thing with Lamar that scared me is just his health and just the last couple of years. I mean, Jason last year talked about it when he got injured. He said, he's probably going to be out for the rest of the season. And look, maybe that was contract. Maybe that was, we don't know. But I am worried about him a little bit. Jalen Hurts, I'm not a big fan of either, though, if I'm being totally honest. But if I had to choose between both of them, I'm picking Hurts. I think he has the better O-line. I think he has the better weapons. Obviously, I think that's probably why he'll have a better season this year. But I will say this. I think his offensive numbers will come down a little bit in terms of rushing touchdowns. Most guys, when they do well with the rushing touchdowns, defense is key on that, and they usually have a reduced rate. So I think he'll have a little bit less return in that.
Jason, over to you. You heard Matt there. He's going to go with Jalen Hurts at this moment in time. Lamar coming off that 2019 MVP. Jalen Hurts was the runner-up last year. Would have been the MVP if Patrick Mahomes didn't get hurt. I mean, he didn't get hurt. He did. Patrick Mahomes wins it. You're a big Ravens fan, but I have a feeling you want to say a different name here.
I don't.
Nah, I figured I would try my best.
This guy.
However, I can see why people would say Jalen Hurts, but that's because of relevancy bias right now. If you're looking at still overall skill set, if you're going to just look at the player themselves and what they can actually do, I'm still going to take Lamar over Jalen. I am.
Okay, what's the skill set?
Their throwing accuracy is even. Let's just be honest. That's a wash.
Okay.
That's a wash.
I disagree. Continue.
That's a wash.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
If anything, I would say Lamar might still be a better thrower, especially with the deep ball, than Jalen Hurts by far.
I'll agree with that one.
I disagree.
I agree with the deep ball. The accuracy.
Did you watch the Eagles games last year? Both of you guys?
Yeah, we watched the Eagles games last year.
No,
I mean we had to.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that you think Jalen Hurts throws a really good deep ball?
Because he doesn't.
Yes, biggest improvement from 2 years ago to last year.
Improvement, not his best thing, though.
No, not his best thing. That's not his best trait, but I'm
But Lamar's deep ball is.
Lamar has a better arm.
He can throw
He's got a
80
better
yards
long
on
ball.
just a flick of the wrist. Are we serious for that?
Listen, continue. Just continue for now. I would get the stats, but I wasn't prepared for this question, so I can't get you the stats. But I guarantee if you were to look up efficiency on the long ball from last year, I guarantee you Jalen Hurts.
But who's had the better wideouts?
Oh, well, Jalen Hurts. But again, you
But
guys
that's where the
love
efficiency
using that
comes from.
argument, man. You guys love using the argument against players.
I don't think Jalen Hurts could have fed it.
control-
I don't think Jalen Hurts could have fed a Marquise Brown. I don't think he could have fed one.
No.
Well, neither did Lamar because he's in Arizona.
Ooh, that stings.
Okay. We're in Arizona Martin. You funny? You got
But
jokes?
that actually proves your point better because he was the best receiver they had. They don't even have him last year. So I get it. I drafted Lamar as my quarterback in fantasy last year. I expected big things. Nothing against him. He got hurt. It was a bad situation coming in. And he didn't have the weapons.
Lamar is the most dangerous player with the ball in his hands.
That's true.
Agreed.
Whether
I
he's throwing it or running it.
That's true.
And that's where the difference actually is with these two.
For me, I'm thinking pre-snap reads, reading defenses, and making the throw on time. It's Jalen Hurts. No question.
Jalen Hurts is in the offense to do that. Lamar has never been in the offense as a pro.
And that's why these questions are tough to talk about.
I'm telling you, this season you're going to see a throwback to Heisman Lamar. How is Lamar threw the ball? People forget that. How is Lamar threw the ball? He didn't just run through the ball. He had what, 4,000 yards?
Well, you could even say
passing and like 1,500 yards rushing. When he has weapons that he can throw to, you see a different player. When he has an offense that's catered to him throwing the ball.
So wait, I'm just curious. You think Jalen Hurts is a good game processor?
Yeah, I do.
Out of the RPO?
Yes.
In the RPO, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Outside the RPO,
Everything.
I don't
I'm
agree
thinking
with you.
pre-snap reads, line,
that's been
everything.
a knock on Jalen Hurts since he came out.
Listen.
I mean, look, y'all got the Super Bowl. I give you that. I'm not going to discredit it at
I ain't
all.
giving them that. Y'all should have won that. I ain't giving them that.
All right, they should have won that
You
game.
had the best quarterback banged up. Yeah, the best quarterback's only weapon was a tight end who everybody knew was going to get the ball.
And he still beat y'all every time.
Still beat y'all.
Every time. He had them like this.
What happened to his defense?
The level of standard.
And I'm
this
hating
desk
right now because I'm a
is-
San
yes,
Fran fan.
You guys are hating.
And they had all this defense, all this talk, all this smoke.
I
and then we
never
got this
heard,
Kansas
I never
City,
heard
y'all
so
didn't do
much
nothing.
critique for not winning the Super Bowl. Where were the
Yeah.
Ravens last year?
And the playoffs without our quarterback.
But they didn't win the Super Bowl,
And
right?
we're 198.
Didn't win the Super Bowl.
What did Ricky Bobby say?
Didn't make the
What did
Super
Ricky
Bowl.
Bobby say?
If you ain't first, you're last.
If you ain't first, you last. That's right.
So we all were last.
That's right. You were just like us.
We will
You just had better front row seat. That's
You
all.
were just
We're
last
gonna take
last.
this argument.
You were last
We'll
last.
come
It's
back
okay.
with stats on the next show and talk about this long ball argument as well as. some
Oh,
of the
I'd
other
love to
stuff.
do that.
I would love to do that as well.
Sorry,
So
I mean,
we're
you're
gonna
arguing
get
the
the
person
numbers.
who has a former MVP at quarterback. I don't care what you say right now.
2019.
Ooh.
It was a long
I'm sorry. Hold on.
time ago.
Let's see. 2019 versus ever. Okay, that's the last quarterback for the Eagles winning MVP was who?
And who was the real MVP last year? That guy in Kansas City, man.
Yeah, hey, he had a great year. They won the Super Bowl. It was a Chiefs year last year. We'll see again. I think and again, I'm going on a little Eagles thing here. I think we have to tailor those expectations. I think the regular season last year is not going to be duplicated this year. I think there'll be a little bit of a drop off.
You just trying to
Butter us up.
I'm a realist. I'm
just
a
trying to
realist.
set himself up.
I'm a realist.
So when the season
But he
don't
will
go
still
his
be
way,
fantastic. Oh, I don't know. It's still going
Typical
to
Eagles
go a
fan.
decent
Yeah,
way.
Eagles fan, you know.
It's going to
trying to
go a
downplay
decent
the
way.
expectations. Like, hold on.
Well, I just don't think 14-2. I still think 12
But again, to
wins.
answer the
11,
question,
12 wins.
To answer the question, yes, I'm taking Lamar over Jalen. Sorry, that's what it is.
I think it's a close. I think they're both very talented quarterbacks. At this moment, give me Jalen Hurts.
I think they're similar. I really do.
Yeah,
They're very
I think
similar.
so,
But
too.
I'm still taking Lamar.
Like, I would have loved to see Lamar run that offense with the Eagles with Shane Steichen last year with that offense. I think
I would have won the Super Bowl. Oh, sorry.
We're going to learn a lot this year because Lamar's got the receivers now. He's got this new offensive coordinator. We're going to find out.
Can we talk about that for a minute? Just real quick. Lamar doesn't have the wideouts yet.
He got Beckham. Would have been the Super Bowl.
No, we
MVP
gotta stop
right
talking about Beckham. Like, people gotta stop this with Beckham. Let me look at the camera here. Stop
Wait.
acting like Beckham is the Beckham that we got in New York.
He looked pretty
It's
damn
a different
good.
Beckham, dog.
Okay.
Listen, I hope he comes back. I really do. But like, people are acting like Beckham is like what he was in New York yet.
But we still got Zay Flowers.
And that's the
No,
thing.
I like that.
Zay,
And
Beckham,
we
two
got-
additions, Bateman coming back,
Oh,
and Andrews
I'm
is
sorry.
still there.
And we have a better Aguilar than what you guys had. Is that true? Oh, sorry.
I don't really care about Aguilar.
Of course you don't. He's been better ever since he left the Eagles, just like everybody else does.
He won a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl in the East.
They leave Philadelphia to get better.
I'm telling you.
Dang.
How can he get better after winning this? All right, we're moving on to the AFC. He's a Super Bowl champion, touchdown in the Super Bowl, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
All
let's go. All right,
let's head to
move
the
on.
AFC East. We're going to preview it, but Dennis, I'll give you props on that one. That was a good one to get us rocking.
Get us rock and rolling there.
Yeah, let's
So let's dive into the AFC East.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with Mike McDaniel and the Miami Dolphins. A lot of questions coming into last year. There was the Tom Brady talk, whether he was going to be an owner and a player. That got shut down. Who they were going to hire. Coach Sean Payton was rumored to want to go to Miami. Instead, they go with Mike McDaniel. A lot of people had some doubts about that last year. And he produced, they went 9-8, made the playoffs with Tua again battling those injuries. As you see the standings on your screen here from last season, the Bills winning division at 13-3-1, followed by Miami, who did finish second in that division, the Patriots at 8-8, and then the Jets coming in the fourth in that division last year. But a lot of changes in the AFC East coming into this season. But let's start with the Dolphins, guys. And one of the big ones, Jalen Ramsey getting that trade over, but he goes down in training camp with that injury, going to miss probably at least 2 months. He says he's going to be back a month earlier than what the doctors are projecting. We'll see if that is true.
luck.
But you're looking at the key additions and losses here in front of us, guys. Just what stands out to you about Miami coming into this year?
I'm sorry, my question. What key additions?
Jalen Ramsey.
Outside of Jalen Ramsey, what key addition?
I like Mike, not key, in addition, I guess we should say.
Well,
Mike White,
these sure aren't. I wouldn't trust these keys. I don't know these.
I would say
Bradley Chubb also at the trade
I would
deadline
say
last
probably
year.
Braxton Berrios.
that's what I was going to go to, yeah.
Because now you have a third receiver who's a legit threat. He's going to be that intermediate route guy. He'll be the actually now you can put him in the slot, and that's going to be a mismatch for most teams. A third corner.
Yeah.
So I like the pickup of Berrios there, and he's familiar with the AFC East. You know, playing with the Jets previously. So
Look at
I
the
think
points scored last year, guys. 11th in points scored. The offense wasn't really the issue. That defense down the stretch battling some injuries. They, again, traded for Bradley Chubb at the trade deadline last year. That was kind of a move for the future, so he'll be back this year. They're going to expect a decent pass rush from him. Points allowed, they were 24th in the league, even negative in point differential at -2. That was 14th. Offensive line ranked in the 20s. Last year, again, though, a 9-8 season, a little bit higher than expectations coming in, but we saw how dynamic that offensive was with Tua Tagovailoa, with Jalen Waddle, with Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill almost, I believe, over 1,700 yards receiving, was close to that 2,000-yard record breaker that he was on pace for throughout the year. But the real question, obviously, is Tua Tagovailoa's health. Matt, can he stay healthy? He is the key for this Dolphins team. If he doesn't stay healthy, they're going to fall to the bottom of these standings. If they do, they got a shot to win the division, you think?
I mean, yeah, if he stays healthy, but Tua the finger man Tagovailoa, I just look, man, I just don't know. I think bringing in Mike White, let me be serious. I think bringing in Mike White, I think was huge for them. Great backup there for them. He did well with the Jets last year in spots. I do worry that losing Gesicki is huge for them. They don't really have a really good guy to come in after him. I mean, they've got Tyler Kroft, who they're hoping that can have some of that, but I mean, Kroft isn't that guy to me. And that O-line, to your point, I mean, that's been the sole point of why Tua has been getting hit. They just have to do better, and I don't see the huge improvements. I do think they make the playoffs, but if they do, they're gonna squeak in.
Got Jalen Ramsey to bolster that defense, Jason, right? They got Bradley Chubb back better maybe than last year, I guess, to settle in Miami. Defense was the question. What do you think about Miami's outlook here for 2023 in the AFC East?
I think they might push and have the same record again.
9-8?
9-8 or 10-7. I think that's their ceiling regardless, even if Tua's healthy, because I think that the rest of the division around them improved. And I don't think they really made enough additions to stay afloat. Tua's going to be seeing stars, and I'm not talking about Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I'm talking about he's going to be seeing stars again, because I don't trust that offensive line. I don't trust it. And quiet as kept, Tua doesn't have the greatest arm either. And people don't realize that he's throwing slant routes to Waddle and Tyreek. His timing. He's not throwing go routes. He's not throwing deep posts. He's throwing literally, they're throwing slants and screens, and they're getting yak yardage.
And I think that's what suits them best. I think, and a lot of their offenses comes off that play action, even with, no change of running back. They bring back, I believe, it's Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert.
And that's the thing for me, too. One of them have to step up in the spotlight. I think Mostert, we know about Mostert from his days with the 49ers, but I think Mostert should be that guy
pretty decent year last year.
If Dalvin Cook doesn't end up in Miami.
Yeah, and again, we talk about all the passing. Tua had the best passing efficiency of any quarterback, or best QBR of any quarterback last year when he did play, when he was active. And again, you have to chalk that up to the help of adding Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill to that Miami offense. Mike McDaniel, I think he did a great job with that offense last year.
If I'm only throwing 5 to 10 yards and they taking them 85, I'm going to be really efficient, too.
That's that Kyle Shanahan offense that Mike McDaniel brought over to Miami. So what do you guys think? Their over-under is set at 9.5 wins this year. Last year, I believe it was at 8. They got that 9. They went over with that final win that they got in Week 17. This year, they are set at 9.5. They have the third toughest schedule in the NFL. What do you guys think about Miami? Over, under 9.5 wins. Jason, you just said 9, so you're going under.
I'm going under, yeah.
Matt, 9.5 wins.
I'll go over. I think 10.
10 wins.
If Tua stays healthy. It's all his health.
That is it. And so basically, if you're saying no, you're basically saying he doesn't stay healthy. If you're saying yes, you're saying he does. I can't see him staying healthy. I'm going to say no. I want him to. I really do, because I love watching that Miami offense when everybody's healthy in it. I think they'll be good if he stays healthy, but I just don't think he'll be able to. Tyreek Hill says he's in the best shape of his life coming into this season. Over 1,700 yards last year. He says this year he has a better understanding of the offense. He said last year he was just kind of going with the flow, seeing what he could do. It produced 1,700 yards. This year he says he's going to get 2,000. Do you agree, Jason McCall?
No.
Where's he at this year? Over, under 1,700 from what he had last year?
Under.
I'm going under as well.
Under. It was a heck of a season last year for him. We'll see. I'm going to say he has an equal or better year.
Those
this
type
year.
of-
And that's high. I know the percentages are low, but I'm
Those
gonna go
type
with
of
it anyway.
seasons don't happen.
I know, it's tough like
Unless
that.
your name is one Jerry Rice. That's about it.
That's about it.
That's about,
Tyreek Hill's a bad man.
or young Randy Moss in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Other than that, you don't see those numbers like consistently every year.
What do you think, 1,500?
No, he gets at least 1,600.
You think
for sure.
16? Yeah,
at
I'm
least.
with you
At
there.
least.
Yeah, well, that'd be
But my
heavy.
thing, the reason why I don't say he gets 2,000 because if he gets 2,000, that means Waddle's only get like 1,100.
See, that's the thing. I know Wild's
Yeah.
probably gonna have a better year, I
So
would imagine.
I think they're better if
That's-
they're both around 1,500, 1,600 apiece.
Right.
And then you add at least, if you add 900 yards from Mostert and another 600, 700 from Jeff Wilson, that's a successful season offense
Yeah,
right there.
Mostert can't stay healthy to save his life.
Wilson can't either, so I mean, it doesn't matter.
We'll see. There's a lot of moving pieces there. How big of the impact, though, before we move on to the AFCs, how big was it, though, for them to go get Jalen Ramsey to anchor
was-
that other side
it
of the
was
defense?
huge.
So you got Xavier Howard now and Jalen Ramsey. That's one of the, we'd say, better quarterback duos in the league.
Easily, but I think Jalen Ramsey's days at corner are going to start winding down real soon because he's too tall, number one, to be, and he's not his speed. His
you can
speed
see a
starting.
little bit.
I can see him moving to safety,
Yeah.
in the next 2 years.
I think he's been playing a lot of that slot nickel corner as
Yeah.
well last year, I think.
Yeah,
with-
I can
with
see him
LA.
moving to safety soon.
So we'll see what happens for him. He's coming back off that injury. He says he's a quick healer. We'll find out. Miami over/under set at 9.5. So they're going to be in the running for that division after that big season last year. We'll see if they can follow it up here in 2023. And that takes us now to maybe one of the most talked about teams coming into this season, and that's due to a number of things, including the addition of Aaron Rodgers, who, after his long tenure in Green Bay, one that included a couple MVPs and a Super Bowl title, takes him to the New York
Four of them
Jets.
things.
2022, 7-10 last year for the Jets. They got off to a good start. That defense was really good. Some big injuries. Zach Wilson did not look good at all last year, obviously.
The MILF
And that
hunter.
was kind of the and that was kind of one of the big reasons that
The
they
MILF
didn't
hunter.
perform as well. Interesting part here, Nathaniel Hackett, the offensive coordinator, after one of the worst head coaching stints for a team, statistically speaking, ever. We'll talk a little more about that later on in the show. But they got defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich is back. Key additions, if you want to call them key, they get Randall Cobb and Alan Lazard, who come over, the ghost of those two players, if you will, maybe Randall Cobb. Alan Lazard could produce a little bit, I think, in New York, as well as the signing of McCall Hardman, which I think will be a good one there from Kansas City. They lose Berrios, Elijah Moore. They trade to the Browns. James Robinson and Ty Robinson, two of their backs that received a decent amount of work, are gone. So, guys, let's talk about the New York Jets. A lot of people's favorites to win the division, a lot of people's favorites to win the AFC after that defense last year and now the addition of Aaron Rodgers. Matt, we'll start with you here. Where do you stand on the New York Jets?
I think they can get 11 wins. I think they got the right guy under center for them with Aaron Rodgers. I really think they're going to need some play from Michael Carter. He's going to have to really do well this year at the running back slot. They don't have Breece Hall for a period of time. He's still coming back from that knee injury last year. And he probably won't get back this year to the form that we saw the year before. I mean, he's such a dynamic runner. When you have that knee, usually it takes guys like him a little bit longer to get back into that situation. So I think him, the kid Knight, the other running back, I think he'll be key as well. And then the O-line play, which no one's really talking about. Mekhi Becton, huge for them, huge in real life. I mean, he's massive. He's coming back from that knee. The reports from camp has been that his knee is really good. He's starting to trust it more and more as he's out there. So I think that's huge for them. The defense, when they have a guy like Sauce, and they just really looked good last year, I don't think that's going to be the problem. I think if they do fall short, it's going to be running back play and O-line play. I think that's where the trouble's going to be.
Yeah, definitely depth at running back. We'll see what they do there. Aaron Rodgers is there. Jason, Matt talked about them getting 11 wins. Their over-under is set at 9.5. They have the 7th easiest schedule this year, 26th in the league. What's your confidence level in Aaron Rodgers and the Jets
Which
this
is
year?
why I think they get 12 wins.
12.
And I think they win the AFC East. I do. I've said it. But I thought they could win the AFC East even before they got Aaron Rodgers, because of the fact that the way they played last year, you saw flashes of brilliance with them. They just couldn't keep it consistent together due to injury. And I'm basing that off of what I saw on tape, what I saw live, but also I'm basing it off of the other teams around them in the division. I think it's going to be an influx year for the AFC East. I think it's going to be a changing of the guard. I think that is, when you don't have a Tom Brady in New England now for what, 3 years now, I think AFC East should be up for grabs every year, although the Bills have won it. But I think when we talk about the Bills later on in this segment, I think I'll say more to that. But I do like the addition of Aaron Rodgers there. Green Bay East Part 2. First Brett Favre and now Aaron Rodgers. Right. But I like Hackett going to the Jets because he cannot. Some coaches aren't head coaches. They're just not their thing. They can be a coordinator. They have a certain skill set, a certain niche. That's what they do. And Hackett and Aaron Rodgers have been together for quite some time. It's familiarity. It's just a matter of the other receivers around them getting used to the terminologies and things. And I think that's a match made in heaven for a new player going to a new team, but having a familiar coach with him. So that was smart on the Jets' part of hiring Hackett. But also, I believe in Robert Saleh. I mean, I think he's a great motivator. He reminds me of Mike Tomlin in certain ways, where he can keep the locker room calm. He can motivate his players, but he just knows his stuff, And I think he's going to be one of the next, up and coming great coaches in this league over the next few years. And the Jets have always been either one player away, whether it's on offense or defense. This year, you don't have any excuses. I don't want to hear anything if they don't win. I don't want to hear anything. I mean, still only won Super Bowl, 1968. Just remind the Jets fan that I know that's my best friend. 1968. No one was around for it. So you got to win now. But yeah, I like the Jets to win this division. 12 wins. And you say the
11 wins.
The 26 tough. I mean, the 7th easiest schedule. That should be 12 wins.
Definitely helps for sure. And again, as Jason said, not a lot of excuses for the Jets this year. Aaron Rodgers, they got him. Breece Hall's coming back from that injury. Defenses, Matt said, should be around the same performance-wise. They should still be one of the top defenses in the league. So again, the confidence is high in New York. A lot of buzz. Hard Knocks will be in New York this year, so we'll get an inside glance at what's going on with the Jets here come mid-August. The last quarterback with the Jets to have a winning record in New York was Mark Sanchez over a decade ago.
Sanchez, baby.
So we'll see what happens. Maybe Aaron Rodgers is going to bring a above 500 record to New York, which is kind of hard to believe. All these quarterbacks. Again, I can give you a list here. Zach Wilson 8-14, Joe Flacco 1-8, Mike White 2-5, Darnold 13-25. Josh McCown 5-11, Fitzpatrick 13-14, Geno 12-18, and then Sanchez 33-29.
Well, just had made the playoffs since 2011, so it makes sense.
This could be the year. I think they'll make the playoffs, though. I'll
they'll definitely make the playoffs. Yeah, I think it's wise to say that.
About that. But before we move on, Sean Payton drama, guys. I'm sure you guys have heard in the news. Sean Payton in an article of USA Today.
Keep my coach's name out of your
comments calling Nathaniel Hackett's job with the Broncos last year the worst coaching season in NFL history, amongst some other critiques of the now New York Jets offensive coordinator. What do you guys think about these comments? Matt, start with you here. Team Rodgers and his defense for his offensive coordinator. As Jason said, keep my coach's name out of your mouth, or do you agree with Sean Payton about airing out those comments?
I mean, I don't agree with either side. I think Nathaniel Hackett was terrible as the Broncos coach. I also think that Sean Payton has been living off his reputation for a while as being this guy that's supposed to be a genius offensively, kind of like a Mike Martz, where he just hangs around and he's been hinging on this, I'm an offensive mastermind for so many years. Listen, I do think it's water under the bridge now. I mean, whether or not he agrees with what he did, that's a conversation I think you have behind closed doors, especially as a coach. You expect this kind of talk from media or people on talk radio, even us. But you don't, as somebody who's in the coaching fraternity as he is, you don't want to kick sand on a guy like that. I just think it's bad form. And at the end of the day, Sean Payton talking all this, he's got to do better than Hackett did last year. So he's just put more stress on himself. And maybe that's what he wants. I don't know.
I mean, obviously, I think he had some other intentions airing all this stuff out publicly, Jason. He's got now a little bit of pressure on him. He's been talking a lot of big things since he got to Denver. And after what we saw from Russell Wilson last year, he better have something better this year in Denver, as Matt said.
Broncos country, that's right.
I haven't heard it at all this year. I don't know.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is being Will Smith, and Peyton is Chris Rock right now. That's what it looks like to me. But I agree with Matt. just shut up and then do your job at this point. No one cares about either one of your teams right now, honestly, until you actually get on the ground. But we'll see the Jets and Browns on Thursday. We have football, guys, is back.
That's right.
We have football every
Hall of Fame game.
We went through the last weekend without football until February. So
There we go.
we are blessed right now. But no, yeah, that Sean Payton stuff just has to be quiet and just coach. And Aaron Rodgers to throw the ball to who you're throwing the ball to. And actually, Aaron Rodgers is being a mentor in New York. He's actually being nice to people. That's different.
It's a big change up of what's going on with him, helping out players, staying late, sticking up for coaches. A different Aaron Rodgers in New York. I think he likes being a Jet, at least so far. He restructured that contract.
$35 million pay cut.
That's big. I mean, I know you don't see that a lot. Tom Brady did that in his time in New England, but that's a good thing to do. It's going to help the Jets out a lot salary-wise, so we'll see what they do with it. If they get Dalvin Cook with that money, we'll see what happens.
Jonathan Tiller.
Jets power ranking. Oh, man. Jets power ranking coming into this year, they are ranked 6th in the upcoming NFL power rankings, so a lot of buzz with the New York Jets. I know we skipped over Miami's power ranking just to go back here quickly. They are 11th. So the AFC East is going to be a powerhouse this year, at least according to the analysts and experts.
Look at this right now. They got these people right in the top 20.
11 and 8, and that takes us to a team that's also going to be in the top 5 of the NFL power rankings. The Buffalo Bills, who again finished last year with a record of 13-4. Sean McDermott back for his 7th year in Buffalo. Ken Dorsey back with his 2nd year as the offensive coordinator since the departure of Brian Daboll to New York. Sean McDermott going to take over the defensive play call duties. He was a defensive coordinator. Will take over that role now with Leslie Frazier stepping down for a little while there. They add Damian Harris from the New England Patriots. They add Latavius Murray from that Bronco team that we were just talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a touchdown machine.
Still there. Mike
is,
Tolbert, baby. Goal line vulture time.
I mean, he played for us too before.
They did lose a couple guys, Cole Beasley, Jamison Crowder, Isaiah McKenzie, and Devin Singletary. So all 4 of those guys produced at least a little bit in that offense last year, but they have some guys coming in to replace them. 4th in points scored, 2nd in points allowed, 2nd in point differential, near the top at all of those rankings. Offensive line coming in ranked 22nd, kind of the only blemish there for Buffalo, and of course 5th in the power rankings. So you got the Bills 5th, Jets 6th, and of course the Dolphins at 11th. So the AFC East looking tough this year, guys. Over under set at 10.5. What's your guys' outlook on Buffalo?
They take a step back this year. I don't think that they're going to match the record they had last year. I think they're going to take a step back. I think there's trouble in paradise. I mean, look, Josh Allen is, or as I like to call him, the white Cam Newton. He's done as much as he can do for his team. He's the best running back they have. Devin Singletary has just been really a scat back who can occasionally catch out of the backfield. And Cook, Dalvin Cook's little brother, for those that don't know, they haven't really trusted him. He's shown that when he gets carries, he does produce, but they don't trust him enough to give him that. And I don't think Gabriel Davis has anything there that we all thought he had in these playoff games. I think just good playoff performances. I don't think he's a guy that's going to stick around. I'm just out on them. I just think that they're just going to start showing some issues. And at tight end also, Dawson Knox. Yeah, I think he's just another guy who got lucky one year. So again, hats off to them. I hope they do well, but yeah, I just think they're going to take a step back this year. I really do. I
think they add, though, Dalton Kincaid, tight end in the first round. I think he's going to get a lot of work for them this year, so he's going to be a big part of that offense. We'll see if that helps at all. Jason, where do you stand on Buffalo?
And this is weird again. I'm in agreement. I think they're going to take a step back.
So, what is the step back in terms of, are you saying first round exit? Are they not?
No, I don't think they make the playoffs.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm borderline that. I think with the whole drama with Diggs and Allen, and the fact that they don't have a real running game, eventually that's going to rear its head. It shows up every year in the playoffs for them. But this year is the year it shows up during the regular season, where they're going to lose games because Josh Allen's going to throw them out of games. Because he's been capable of doing that too.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Either he throws a touchdown to his team, or throw a touchdown to the opposing team.
Crucial turnovers for him last year.
I think that, and like you said, it's reminiscent of Cam's start to his career, where he went to the Super Bowl and then he's MVP, and after that he just started too many hits to cause runs. So
Yeah.
I see a similar trajectory, unfortunately, with Josh Allen. But Josh Allen had a reputation of being a gunslinger and interception machine coming to the NFL from Wyoming. So it's not like this isn't something it's not new.
Right.
And you don't really have any real receivers outside of Diggs, and he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, doesn't want to be there.
I think once we get going, I think they'll put that behind them. I think they'll have a good year. I think they'll be fine. I think they're a playoff team for sure. Over/under this year is set at 10.5, so I think they're kind of
Under.
agreeing with you guys there. I'm still going to go over. I think they at least have 11 wins. I know they have the 4th toughest schedule in the NFL this year, but them being the team that they are, I think they can still get to that mark. I think they get 11 wins this year and make the playoffs.
I mean, their defense can win them about 4 games. I can see that.
And we'll see again, loss of Leslie Frazier. We'll see how that affects them
McDermott,
defensively.
you know about McDermott.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
He's
I
a
know
great
that.
coordinator. I'm not going to knock him. I mean, that's how he got the job in the first place.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. I think Josh Allen will have a better year this year. I think he's going to work on those turnovers. Too many turnovers in the red zone last year. Points, turning into points for the other team, as Jason alluded to. That's going to have to change. We talked about the relationship between and Stephon Diggs. I think that's water under the bridge now, if you will. I think they'll be good to go. Once you lace up and strap those helmets on, I think they'll be fine. We talked about the running back situation. I agree with you, Matt. I think James Cook, we'll see how he does there. They obviously go out and get Damian Harris. He might be that goal line back. Josh Allen can run the ball. But I think James Cook, I think, is going to be the guy to watch this year.
For you. Now, I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in this conversation.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about Josh Allen when we talk about Lamar? Runs too much. Why don't we talk about him the same way?
Yeah, I don't think you can definitively say, I don't think there's too much difference there.
It's not, but we never talk about that.
I actually think Lamar runs smarter than Josh Allen.
He does.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He does.
I've seen too many games that Josh Allen wants to be macho and get hit.
And that's
like he thinks he's Mike Allstott.
Yeah. It's like, bro, what are you doing?
And we saw last year that arm was in bad
Somebody's
shape.
going to clean his clock this year because he thinks he can just stand in the pocket and just
and that's my problem.
truck
it's like
guys.
we don't, but we critique. You know what? No, I'm not going today. No, I'm leaving it alone. I'm leaving it alone today. No, moving forward.
And then he had that UCL injury in his
I'm with
throwing
you.
arm last year. So it depends. He's got to stay healthy too. Him and Lamar both got to find ways to stay healthy for their offenses, and Josh Allen's got to find ways to not turn the ball over to go along with those big chunk plays that he's still able to get with that wrist.
The difference is Diggs, though.
But people don't realize also, another thing with the Bills, the defense is older than the offense.
Yes.
Everybody's defense is getting a year older.
And
it's
a
starting
great
to show
year,
on
though,
their sacks,
defensively
too.
last year.
They were one of even though they were a top 10 defense, they had the lowest sacks.
You got Von Miller
I'd say
up
that
there in
injury.
age.
Well, that injury, if he didn't get hurt, I think that would have been.
Micah
changed
Hyde's
a lot
up there
of
in
things.
age. I mean, you have
Jordan Poyer's back this year.
Your top 2 defenders are in their 30s.
I think Ed Oliver's going to have a good year up front. I think their defense.
Is there Oliver in a contract year?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
He's probably.
I think he might have just signed a
Just
new
signed a
contract.
contract. Okay.
I think. I could be wrong. Don't hold me to that.
I mean, but he has to step up on that line.
Yeah, their defense again is going to have to be good as they
But
were. At
I
least as good
think
as they were
he
last
has
year.
to be the key defensive player this season.
And again, second year now under Ken Dorsey. Didn't run the ball as much as I think we all would have liked them to last year. Don't know if that was because of who they had the running back room. This year, a few new guys in there. We'll see if that second year under Ken Dorsey, they can improve that run game and
I would
balance
never
it
made
out
Ken Dorsey a coordinator.
a little.
I'm sorry. He wasn't as smart as a quarterback as a player.
Again, they're power ranking 5th this year. So we'll see. You guys are nobody picking the Bills to win the division?
No,
No.
not at all.
No.
I mean, shout out to shout out to DeMar Hamlin coming back.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, he's the training camp. He's practicing. He's going to play. Shout out to Hamlin for that. You know, a guy, but he's been the lone bright spot for him this year.
Here's the thing that we don't want to talk about, too, is Josh Allen has, when the pressure's been on, whether people like to hear it or not,
He chokes.
he chokes.
Yeah.
So what's the change this year? Am I supposed to believe that? It's almost like the Diggs and Josh Allen conversation is almost like different sport, but it's almost like the Draymond KD thing. Oh, we're good. Are you? Are you really good? Because then what's going to happen is you're going to get on a podcast a year from now and you're going to say, well, that's why I left. So just like they did. So it's one of those situations where no one really knows the truth except for the people that are in that locker room. And look, Josh Allen's lost a little bit of luster. You see Joe Burrow coming up. The pressure's on him. Joe Burrow's coming up.
Kenny
You got
Pickett.
You got Herbert. You got guys in that ring that are like, look, I'm trying to get your spot, bro. You were supposed to be that guy.
To me, I think he has the most pressure out of all those guys you just said. I think 100%. Patrick Mahomes coming off the Super Bowl. You don't have to worry about him. Joe Burrow, as you mentioned, has been there, beaten them the last couple of times. I think it is all on Josh Allen.
And been to a Super Bowl already.
Yeah.
This is true.
and I think you can put a couple guys in that conversation now. I think Lamar goes in that conversation.
Oh, Lamar's been in the conversation.
Exactly, but now he's got a little bit better. I mean, he never had the receivers, and we talked about that. Now it's a little bit better. Give him a little bit of a better shot, maybe to throw the ball downfield. I think Lamar, I think Josh Allen are two quarterbacks. And I even think a little bit of Jalen Hurts just to follow it up, because you always have that 1 year. How do you respond after that?
He's going to be a one-hit wonder or not, yeah.
Exactly right. So we'll see how that goes there. I might pick the Bills to win the division, but I'm with you guys. I think a step back. We'll see as we progress. And that takes us to the last team of the division. We'll know how much time we'll spend on the New England Patriots. 8-8 guys last year. 8-9, excuse me. They didn't have an offensive coordinator. One of the most bizarre things I've ever experienced or paid attention to and covered was the offense for the New England Patriots. Mac Jones, a pretty good year his rookie year. I think that's
Mac Jones
had a good year. And then last year he pairs Matt Patricia alongside, I think it was Joe Judge, as the offensive play caller. I mean, two guys that ran defenses and special teams in their careers, and they became the offensive play callers. Bill Belichick saying it doesn't matter, they can do both. Well, it didn't work out well. The worst season of Mac Jones' short career. They looked just a mess all season long. Steve Belichick, the defensive coordinator. Bill O'Brien is back. I do think that's going to help a ton. I don't think they're going to be a good team. But Bill O'Brien, I think with Mac Jones, is going to help a lot. I think it's going to be night and day from last year. I got them finishing at the bottom of the division. They're over/under. I said it's 7.5 wins, guys. Where are you at on New England? Oh, it's night and day from having two defensive guys that never run an offense before.
I got a hot take right now. The New England Patriots will finish with a better record in the AFC East than the Buffalo Bills.
Oh my God! Yeah, Dennis, clip that and put it on. Clip that and save it. Save it in the files. There you go. So write that down. It's going to be our first bold prediction of the NFL season.
There we go. That's it right there. There we go. Starting it off. Got to start off strong.
So you like the Bill O'Brien coming back?
I like Bill O'Brien coming back, but I like the addition of Juju and Mike Gesicki to the offense to give Mac somebody to throw to. Somebody to throw to.
Yeah, I'm not a Mac Jones guy.
I'm not either. I'm really not. I mean, I'm not a fan of any quarterback from Alabama. They haven't done anything except Joe Namath, but that's not story for another day. Oh, and Jalen Hurts now.
Well, right before that.
Actually, he's an Oklahoma quarterback, not Alabama. But,
that's true. Alabama tries to claim you. I don't know.
Trying to claim him, but Oklahoma.
They try to claim him.
But no, it's like the war of attrition with this team. Is like you just have to just hope that they're going to be better than what they were last year. And some of the additions that they have are pretty decent, and you can't be as bad as you were last year. I mean, because
they just can't.
I mean, you just can't be. And I think the low light of the season was that ending of that Patriots Raiders game.
That's right.
That was just, I have never seen anything like that in all my years of watching any sport. Like, that was just horrible to watch. So I think they're at least better than that. And like I said, I do believe that they'll have a better record than.
Wow, that's.
Because I think the Bills self-implode this year.
And that's, they very well could. Again, man, I think that Bill O'Brien coming back is big for them. Where do you stand on the Patriots? 17th ranked offense still somehow last year. Offensive line rank in the top 15. They're sitting at 13, coming in at 20 in the NFL power rankings into this season. Thoughts, concerns about New England, or you just.
I think they can win.
You concern yourself with New England.
I think they can win 8 games. But if you're playing fantasy,
taking the over.
Yeah, I'm taking the over. But if you're playing fantasy, the only guy there of saving grace is Ramondre Stevenson.
There he is. I love Ramondre Stevenson. I'm with you, man. And he is going to be, and hopefully he could be a workhorse now. I don't know who they else have got in this roster.
He's okay. I haven't trusted any running back from the Patriots since Curtis Martin.
Yeah, the difference is, though, he catches and runs, though.
He does. He's going to do it all. We'll see.
Do it all.
And now he's got Bill O'Brien. We'll see if Bill O'Brien runs it all. I hope he does in New England. So, bold take from Jason. He's got them finishing ahead of the Bills. I've got them finishing 4th in division.
Have they had a 1,000-yard running back? Oh. The last 1,000-yard running back in New England was Corey Dillon.
I thought Sony Michel won 1,000.
Stevenson? What Stevenson gets?
Did Sony Michel get 1,000?
He got 1,000.
And he just retired.
Stevenson had to get there
retired,
last year.
Wow. Craziness. Yeah. Okay.
All right, well, that wraps up our AFC
Thank you.
East.
We
still got to get to the NFC South here in the next 25
got
minutes.
this mess on
but
here.
let's talk about the AFC East odds here. They're on the sheet in front of us. Buffalo, your favorites to win the division at plus 130, followed by the New York Jets at plus 250, Miami at plus 290, and the New England Patriots down there at plus 750 to win the division. Placing your bet on the wager on the Jets?
I would place a wager on the Jets, but I am going to go put some money on the Patriots.
To win the division. Numbers too good.
Stranger things have happened.
You're absolutely right.
Listen, worst to first has happened.
Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Jason. I also think just one person that we didn't talk about. It's really going to hinge on how well they implement Christian Gonzalez, their rookie from Oregon cornerback. It's been a little soft spot for them since the age is set in for some of their guys. If they can get him in and he does what the scouts think he can do, they can make that defense even more lethal.
That defense could be very good, and that's going to be their calling card for this upcoming season. I'm just going to do it anyway. I'm going to stick with the Bills to win the division. You're going with the Jets. Yep. And Matt, who wins the division?
Jets.
2 Jets. There you go. I can't argue with that. They're going to be good this year. Let's move on now to the AFC South. I'm rocking the Atlanta Falcons jersey, and that's where we're going to start. With the Falcons, 7-10 last year, but nobody was in more one-possession and close games than Atlanta. Again, I think they were lost or won all of their games or almost all their games by one possession. Jason.
Is that a Matt Schaub jersey?
Is it a what?
Matt Schaub? Is that number 8?
That's funny. No, it is not everyone at home. It is a Kyle Pitts jersey, but
Stump the Schaub, baby. Stump the Schaub. There we go.
Matt Schaub had some good years.
He sure did. Throwing interceptions to other teams.
Right after Michael Vick.
Pick six master.
With the Atlanta Falcons. Arthur Smith returns for his 3rd year in Atlanta. Great start for them last year. Marcus Mariota at quarterback, that was kind of an issue. Then Desmond Ridder took over later in the year. Arthur Smith calling the plays, of course. They add Ryan Nielsen as their defensive coordinator. He's going to be new this year for Atlanta. They actually had some good key additions this year, fellas. Jesse Bates, a huge one of the best safeties in the league, heading there. They trade for Jeff Okudah. Taylor Heineke is going to be there backing up Desmond Ridder.
Heineken. They got Heineken. Oh, he going to start by week.
That's what I would do.
He going to start by week 7.
Calais Campbell and Jonnu Smith.
They
So
got my
some
boy
big
Calais.
additions for the Atlanta Falcons. They also
Bud
get
Dupree.
Bud Dupree to come off the edge. That was one of the positions they were really lacking, was that edge rush. Guys, their over-under is set here for Atlanta at 8.5 wins. They have the second easiest schedule in the NFL.
Marcus Mariota's on the Eagles?
He's on the Eagles, backing up.
He's going to be a starter.
Oh, no, what are you implying? Are you talking about ill health about Jalen Hurts? Are you talking about injuries?
You want your money back for that Kyle Pitts jersey, don't you? Because they sold it to you that he was going to be an elite.
Listen, again, I'm sick of my Florida Gator blood. Kyle Pitts, my favorite tight end in the league. And
He's
again,
supposed to be Tony Gonzalez.
free him. You can't say it's his fault.
Sure.
Who was his quarterback last year?
Tight ends catch the ball at 10 to 15 yards.
Yeah.
Mariota and Desmond Ridder. Wait, don't tell me
we
you
saw Michael Vick throw the Alge Crumpler and get a Pro Bowl.
Give
Like,
Kyle
come on,
Pitts
bro.
Michael Vick then. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And Kyle Pitts had Michael Vick? Wait, are you guys now saying
Why are
that
you
Kyle
mad?
Pitts?
Marcus Mariota's about to be your quarterback, man. You better cheer that man. Better be our
You guys
quarterback.
watched the quarterback documentary on Netflix? He's on
I haven't watched it
I
yet.
haven't watched it yet.
Yeah,
No, I saw
Mariota's
Captain
on there.
Mid was on there though.
He is, and then his little brother, I don't even know what you're gonna call him, but Marcus Mariota's on there as well, so he's level below me.
Kirk Cousins. I got a new name for him now. It's not a mid anymore. Lean Cuisine. Lean Cousins. We're going to call him Lean Cousins all year.
Yeah, Captain Mid definitely prayed in that show.
Lean Cousins.
But back to free Kyle Pitts. That's all I gotta say.
Free
He's coming
Kyle
off that
Pitts.
ACL. Hopefully he gets a chance in this offense.
Cordero
this year,
Patterson,
but
baby.
Done.
I don't know if he will either with Desmond Ridder at quarterback. Arthur Smith saying they want to rely on the run. Offensive line's been pretty good, but they are a run-first team, and everybody knows it. They were 17th ranked offense, a 10th ranked, I'm looking at the wrong stats
Yeah,
there.
you
I
know
was going to say, I was like, wait a minute.
We know you are with that one.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I was
15th in points scored, 23rd in points allowed, 21st in point differential. So, of course, we know the offensive line ranked 7th coming into this year. Power ranking 27, kind of where you would expect. 8.5 wins with the second easiest schedule. But the big addition, guys, we talked about the defense. Bijan Robinson, the first-round pick, 8th overall.
Yeah.
Matt, they're going to want to run the ball. They have the offensive line and now the running backs to do it. How good are the Falcons going to be this year with Desmond Ridder in his second year?
They'll be great in running. I don't think they're going to be great in winning. Ridder, I mean, look, he was so-and-so last year. They didn't have any real confidence. I mean, that's why Marcus Mariota was there. They didn't have any confidence in Ritter and what they saw. So, look, he's got to take a step forward this year. He played for a very good Cincinnati team, which people don't know that was Sauce Gardner's team as well. They had a lot of talent there. Just hasn't put it together yet.
He's a rookie last year.
Yeah, rookie.
Mm-hmm.
And they
Gotta
look.
take a step.
He's got to take a step forward this year. He's got the weapons. Drake London, who I think is a really good talent, he has the throw to him. Exactly. Bijan Robinson, I think, is probably going to be the odds-on favorite to get Rookie of the Year offensively. And then you got Pitts, who's coming back. So he's got some weapons. So, look, we'll see what happens. But I do agree with Jason. I do think Heineke at some point will start.
Too. And I think that might. We'll see how Ritter does.
I'm a Heineke fan. I really am a Heineke fan. I think the Commanders should have kept him, honestly. But now he's in Atlanta, so that's that. But I like what they've done in the offseason in Atlanta.
I agree.
I believe in Desmond Ritter. I do. I was a fan of him at Cincy. So, not really too many great football players come out of Cincy. I mean, you got the Kelseys.
I think Tony Pike was the last big quarterback to come out of Cincy.
Got a few decent guys here and there, but I like what the Falcons have done. I don't like Arthur Smith calling the plays, though. I don't like that. I don't like it.
Don't like the run game?
I mean, the run game, you have to run the ball. You have Bijan, you have
run the ball like 70% of the time.
I mean, they ran last year like that. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
you have Cordero Patterson, who's just a Swiss Army knife. He does everything on offense. He can be a receiver, he can be a running back, and be a tight end. He can throw halfback passes. He does everything.
Everything.
So I think, honestly, the key to the Falcons would be how much better can they improve on defense from last year. That's really the key for them. If they can stop the bleeding somewhat on defense, they'll go over that 8.5 if they can stop the bleeding on defense.
Again, their losses: 1 point loss, 3 3-point losses, a 4-point loss, and 2 6-point losses.
They were in every game they played.
It's truly incredible how close they were in all these matchups. Over/under set at 8.5 wins, guys. What do you think about over/under 8.5 wins with the second easiest schedule for Atlanta?
Yeah, I go 8 wins.
I'll go over.
Over. I'm going to go over too. And you mentioned worst to first. I think they're a candidate for worst to first.
What? The NFC South is up for grabs.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I think they're. I like the additions they made. You talked about them already. The one defensively, especially. I like what they've done. I think they had a chance to go from worst to first. It all depends on the quarterback play, as we always say.
And I like Johnny Smith having a good season at tight end.
Yeah, back with Arthur Smith, who had him in Tennessee. He's a big fan. I think they're going to use him well. Matt's going just under 8 wins. Me and Jason are going over. I'll probably say 9 wins.
9 wins.
9 wins. Doesn't it sound a little odd to say the Falcons are going to have 9 wins? But hey, I'm with you there. I'm going to go with it.
Listen, we've seen teams win this division at 7, 8, and 1. So I mean,
and make the playoffs.
So I mean,
we'll keep it rolling here with Atlanta. I think they're an interesting team. Before we move on, Matt, where are you taking Bijan in fantasy?
Probably by round 2 in a standard 10.
There you go.
Yeah, second half.
I agree.
Yeah,
for sure.
I've seen in some mock drafts go as early as 6.
That's too rich for me.
So we'll see.
He's like an 11 through 15 guy for me.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll see what he does. They're expecting big things. We'll see how the season goes for Atlanta and Desmond Ritter, Bijan Robinson. Interesting offense coming in for Atlanta. Let's now head to the New Orleans Saints, maybe one of the most forgettable teams in the NFL the last couple of years. 7-10 last year. It seemed to always be, like you said, the NFC South is a battle every year. So they're in it, but unable to get the job done. Peter Carmichael's been their offensive coordinator for the last 14 years. Defensive coordinator Joe Woods is now going to step up and be their defensive coordinator. They get Jamal Williams, Jesse James, the tight end from Detroit, Foster Moreau signing with them from Oakland. They do lose Marcus Davenport, and amongst Andy Dalton, who was a starter for many games for them last year. They lose P.J. Williams, Mark Ingram, Jarvis Landry, Jesus. Marquez Callaway, Chris Harris. I know these are some big names, but they were towards kind of the tail ends of their, so maybe names more than production. But they lost a lot. There's no denying that.
Davenport's massive.
Agree with that. Davenport probably being the biggest loss for them defensively, especially. Over-under, guys, is set at 9.5 wins because the big addition, though, that was not on here is one we already know, and that is Derek Carr, now going to be the starting quarterback in New Orleans in a division that's up for grabs. You could make the argument that Derek Carr could, coming into this season, be the best quarterback in the division. Matt, you're shaking your head. Who is it?
Well, first of all, Derek Carr is Super Saiyan mid. So he's not He's like, you just might as well fire up the mid bus with this guy.
Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins.
Well, Kirk
Who'd
Cousins.
you rather have?
I'd rather have Derek Carr. That's why I said he's Super
Whoa.
Saiyan. He's Super Saiyan mid.
I'm not doing that. I'd rather have Kirk Cousins than Derek Carr.
No, sir. No, sir. You like that? You can
like
have
that?
bro.
You like that?
You can have that. I
Listen,
don't want it, man.
his last name is Carr. Name a good Carr that ever played in the NFL.
Brandon
thank you.
Carr.
I don't know. Is there a good Carr playing in the NFL?
No.
Carr's a good deep corner.
Name a good Cousins.
Kirk.
The
Captain
fact that
Kirk.
you're saying good in Kirk Cousins is
Better than
scary to me.
I mean, the defense guy is with New Orleans, though, is never the issue, right? Their defense was great again last year. Cam Jordan and company, Marcus Lattimore, 9th in points allowed. 29th offensive line ranking last year. They move up to 24th with a few additions this year.
These boys gonna be trash.
Trevor Penning coming into his second year now
What
at tackle.
position is
Taysom Hill,
Taysom Hill playing this year?
whatever position they want to play him.
I
in.
don't think it'll be quarterback.
He needs to be a tight end full time and just switch.
Yeah, and CBS needs to stop trying to put him at QB.
Same thing with Yahoo.
Getting
Yahoo
the
does
tight
the same
end
thing.
eligibility is cheating.
Yeah, I need him a tight end so I can pick him up in late round in fantasy.
And we'll talk about this a little bit later on, guys, but I believe...
They still got Jameis too, right? Jameis still there?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Jameis is still
Famous
there.
Jameis.
Famous Jameis.
They are the favorites to win the division at plus 130. They have the highest win total set in the over-under in the division.
Super Saiyan Carr,
at
man.
9.5 because they have the easiest,
I like him. I just don't like him
easiest schedule in the NFL this year. Kamara
That means
could be
nothing.
suspended. Derek Carr, that's going to be the big thing. Derek Carr, you said not the best quarterback in the division.
No.
Is he the best quarterback in the division to you?
I mean, that's not serious saying much.
I agree, but is he? I think it's not saying anything at all, but is he the best quarterback? I mean, I really want to say Bryce Young, but we can't yet, right?
Is Derek Carr better than Baker Mayfield?
That's a good question.
Is the real question.
Wait a minute, that's a good question.
I think he has to be.
It's Baker Mayfield, man. What are we doing here?
They both put up similar numbers though.
Who has more playoff
No,
wins? How many
Baker
playoff
Mayfield
wins does
is
Derek Carr have?
trash.
I didn't say he wasn't.
How many playoff wins does Derek Carr have? Seriously, this is I'm not
I wanna
trying
say
to-
like two.
I want to say
Yeah.
one or two, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
something like that.
At least one, right?
Yeah.
Because Baker's got one, right? He's won to
Yeah.
beat the Steelers in that big
Yes.
blowout victory. They could both have one playoff win when it comes down to it.
I still don't want Baker Mayfield on my team, bro. Baker Mayfield is trash, bro.
He depends.
I don't know why people keep wheeling him out. Like, bro, he's trash.
I would take Derek Carr over Baker because Derek Carr's not turning the ball over as much as Baker does. He doesn't. He's not gonna do that.
Baker can't throw on the run.
He turns the ball over last
Baker
year.
can't throw on the run for nothing.
We'll see. Again, that's a
If his
tough
feet
question.
aren't set, he's not throwing.
But
that
again,
ball.
Vegas seems to think that Derek Carr is obviously the better quarterback. They are the highest win
mean,
total. They have the highest odds
I
to
can
win
see
the
that.
division.
Though. I can see them winning the division. I really can.
I think I could too.
He's the
But
best,
I'm not
man.
gonna say
Coming
it
in,
just
I
yet.
either wore the Kamara jersey to represent the Saints, who I was going to pick the new division, or the Falcons, who I was going to pick the new division. I still haven't decided.
I
but
should
think
have come in here with my Julius Peppers jersey.
Always a soft spot for Carolina Panthers too. Down from North Carolina.
Look
I
at
can't
Kirk
say.
Cousins' jersey, so be mid, man. That's crazy.
So we think over under 9 wins for the Saints, guys. Easiest schedule in the NFL, Jason.
It
Over under.
gotta be over with the easiest schedule.
We're picking a lot of overs in the
No,
NFC South,
I'm
guys.
saying,
That's all
saying
I'm saying.
over maybe like, over it's like 10 wins.
Yeah,
not
oh
like
yeah,
it's
no,
like
I'm
12
with you.
wins.
If
saying,
I'm thinking, I'm
Yeah,
thinking
I'll
right
go
over.
10. I'll go 10.
So the Saints with Derek Carr, a 10-win team. That sound, but that where's
Super
the easiest schedule?
Saiyan
You're
man,
right,
man,
you're
I'm
right,
trying to
man.
tell you.
He took the Raiders to the playoffs. Like,
Exactly.
Anybody do that?
And if
You're
that
a magician.
defense, that defense stays how they were last year, they should be fine. So I'm with you there. I guess we got a chance to win the division. I'm gonna say under. I'm gonna go 9 wins.
It might win the division still.
And you're right, exactly. They could win.
They might win.
I will guarantee you one thing, though. There is not 2 teams going to the playoffs from the NFC South.
Oh,
that will not happen.
That won't happen ever again. Actually, it's gonna be a long time.
So we'll see what happens with Alvin Kamara coming into the year, facing that suspension. Supposed to meet with Roger Goodell this week. So we'll see how that plays out. Now to the Carolina Panthers. We ran out the final 2 teams here in the NFC South. 7-10 last year. Up and down year for Carolina. Matt Rule out as head coach. They bring in another recycled head coach in Frank Reich. Offensive coordinator Thomas Brown. They got him from the Rams. He'll be there.
That was slight
and
hate, though.
Ehiro Evero, Denver defensive coordinator,
Slight shade.
is new as well.
I mean, well, Eagles has won Super Bowl with Frank Reich though.
Mm.
Let's talk
Let's
about
talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
What'd you say? I missed it. I wasn't.
The Eagles
Actually, won the
won a
Super Bowl with
without
Frank Reich.
man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nick Sirianni.
Yeah.
they had the John DeFilippo, Frank Reich, and that was the perfect storm that year. It all worked out. We'll see if
worked
they get
out.
it. So what do you guys think about the Frank Reich hiring? Like it? Don't like it?
I don't like. I think Wilkes should have gotten a better shape.
He had a good
Like I'm just honestly, that's just nothing against Frank Reich at all. But the Panthers did Steve Wilkes dirty. NFL does most black coaches dirty.
I was surprised.
I'm
at
gonna
how
take it there, 'cause it happened again.
I was surprised how quickly Frank Reich, was out in Indianapolis. How quickly he was right in Carolina.
I'm not. It's the cycle of NFL. The black coaches get one chance and they exile for 10 years.
I'll still stand by
David.
David Coley when used to. That was still the one that hurts the most, I think.
I think Steve Wilkes and David Cole are the same. To me, it's on the same playing field. Like I think they both didn't get a fair shake.
Yeah.
David Tepper, one of those rich owners, just trying to make
the Steve Wilkes really pisses me off because this is like the second time they did this. They did this with him in Arizona.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
They gave him a rookie quarterback and then they basically fired him. And it was like, how good have you guys done since you did that?
And last year you had PJ and Baker as his two starting quarterbacks.
And Matt and Sam Darnold.
And they let him go again, and then they give Frank Reich the shiny new toy with Bryce Young. I don't like that. I think it's
who they've already made the starter.
Yeah. I think
I thought it was ridiculous that they didn't name him the starter when they said it was going to be a battle after the draft.
It's not going to be a battle.
I thought that was insane. Like, why? Yeah, that sounds.
Nonsense.
That was ridiculous to say.
But I will say this: McCall look. People like his arm. They think if it wasn't for the drug problems in college, he might have had a first-round spot. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So they got some talent there. I think Miles Sanders is a huge.
Oh, I love Miles going there.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
I think Thielen's going to be good just to be a veteran in the locker room, veteran in the wide receiver room.
I like Hayden Hurst going to Carolina.
Yeah.
That's the pickup. That's the one for me. Like, and Von Bell's there. I mean,
I think they got some additions. Again, it comes
DJ
down
Chark.
to how good do you guys think Bryce Young is going to be as a rookie, #1 pick? Unanimous coming out as in college. He was supposed to be the #1 pick. Dealing with that size, obviously one of the smaller, probably the smallest quarterback in the league.
Is he smaller than Kyler Murray?
He weighs less than Kyler Murray, I think by about 10 to 15
He's not smaller
pounds.
than him, right? Are they the same size?
I think they're the same height. I don't know. I think it's close. Either the same height or Bryce Young's smaller.
Well, he doesn't have that midget head that.
And Kyler Murray's a little bit stockier.
Kyler Murray has that midget head.
He's a little bit stockier. He's a little bit stockier.
They're called little people or dwarfs.
I'm sorry. Yes.
We'll see how Bryce Young.
We'll keep our show on the air.
That we do.
What are you guys expecting out of Bryce Young in year one and the Panthers?
I actually think the Panthers are going to win the division.
Okay. The defense. They got the defense. I'm with you. I can't say. I can't say no.
You're going too far now.
I'm not. I think the Panthers are going to win the division.
Power ranking coming in this year, 28th. So the NFL or Pro Football Focus not agreeing with you there.
Schedule.
16th offensive line ranking, 4th easiest schedule. Over/under set at 7.5. That's 2 games lower than the Saints win over/under total. What are you going with? 7.5. So you're taking the over on everybody in the NFC South.
No, except for our last team. That's for sure.
So you're taking it. What do you think? Panthers over 7.5 wins with the #1 overall pick.
I'm going under.
Under.
I respect it. I'm
going to go over too, but I'm going to say 8 wins. If they get 8 wins with that defense, Bryce Young plays well in his rookie year.
I mean, I'm a big Adam Thielen fan, so I'm just going. And Miles Sanders, I'm going to put it out there.
Adam Thielen's tires are done.
Maybe their offensive line, Equanu, them get going. Top 15 offensive line. That'll take us to our final team of the NFC South. They no longer have Tom Brady. A few years after that Super Bowl, they went 8-9 last year. That's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles back for another year. New offensive coordinator Dave Canales from Seattle. Defensive coordinator Casey Rogers back for year 2. Let's check out some of these additions. Chase Edmonds, Baker Mayfield, Matt Filer. So some of those are the big names there.
Who we play for? Who are these people?
And then look at the departures, guys. The list is just substantial. Tom Brady, Shaq Mason, Akeem Hicks, Leonard Fournette, Julio Jones, William Golston, Cameron Brate, Ryan Suckup, Sean Bunting, Donovan Smith, Keanu Neal, the list.
Damn team is
and
gone.
those are all some big names, guys, that played a lot for them last year.
Rashawn Perriman, Carl Nassib.
Well, did they really lose Julio Jones, though?
Well, some of them. They lost him technically.
They
on
lost him
paper,
when they signed him.
Literally,
Let's
they
just keep
lost.
it
that was a horrible sign.
That was a horrible sign.
Offensive line rank after last year, 14. They dropped to 21st coming into 2023 with the losses. Some of those guys up front. Over-under guys is set the lowest in the division, 6.5 wins. They got the 17th toughest schedule, so middle of the pack, a little bit middle of the pack schedule-wise. Jason, you have low expectations for Tampa.
With the number 3 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select. Oh, they're going to win 3 games this year.
Yeah.
3 and 4.
3 games.
3 games. They're going to be,
That's low.
putrid.
Baker.
So why don't you? So you need to go to Delaware Park right now and get that under.
And
in.
they will, if they win more than 5 games, I'd be surprised.
Baker is trash.
They're not going to, but all those departures, and you got Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask? Really?
I'd rather start Kyle
Those
Trask.
your quarterbacks?
Kyle Trask, I got to see him in some preseason action last year, up close and personal. Sat behind his family at the games,
You saw him in
actually.
college, too.
And I saw him in college. Did not
Another trash
I love
quarterback
Kyle
from
Trask.
Florida.
Did not. Oh man, he did not look good in the preseason, man.
He didn't look good in Florida. What are we talking about?
Who you get? Who's your college?
He didn't look good.
Tallahassee, Florida State.
Yeah, of course.
So Jameis Winston is the pride of your entire.
He won a Rookie of the Year.
Actually, our pride is Charlie Ward. Let's just keep
Charlie
it stacked.
Ward.
Oh, okay, my bad.
That's right.
Charlie Ward.
Charlie Ward's the pride of us now.
Jason's going under. 6.5
Shout out to
wins.
Chris Winky.
Chris Winky. Yeah,
Chris
I guess
Winky, wow.
Chris
We're
Winky.
NFC South.
Shout
We're
out
talking
Charlie
about
Ward, who was the only Heisman player to play in the NBA. Just saying.
Yeah.
Do it that way.
That's what we do over here. What happened? Where's
2
Chris?
sports stars.
Where's
Let's
Chris
talk about
Leak at?
national.
Where's Chris
Chris
Leak at?
Leak is
Where's he
somewhere
at?
polishing
Where's
his
T-Ball?
championship ring.
He talking about
He's
baseball still?
polishing his Heisman.
He's don't talk about baseball still. Is that what y'all do? Play baseball?
Now, because we produce 2 sport athletes.
But we have ones that go to the Hall of Fame though.
Really?
Can't complain about Dion.
Do you produce good 2-sport athletes?
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
They're just
What do you
criminals.
think?
I
Let's
was
go.
still
Let's
waiting for
get
Tim
back
Tebow.
to Tim Tebow. Above 500 record in the NFL, including a playoff win. Didn't get a
Trash.
chance after that. Just saying.
That boy threw like Uncle Rico.
Numbers don't numbers don't lie. All right? That's a show. Numbers don't lie. 6.5 wins over under, Matt.
I'm going 5 wins.
5 wins. We're unanimous. Under in Tampa. We're gonna go
Dennis,
put
your
that
team's
bet
gonna
in.
suck this year.
We're gonna put that in. Let's get Dennis. Put up on the screen your projected win total if you can for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's Dennis's squad. You know,
them
close to
boys.
home. No Brady to bail them out this year. Baker Mayfield under center.
That boy's gonna be
What do you
AFS.
think, Dennis? What is going on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? How many games are they going to win this year? Put it up
Yeah,
there.
we're gonna
Let's
wait for
let
this
the
one.
people know.
Let the people know how many wins they're gonna have this year.
Because again, you look at the odds: Saints plus 130, Falcons plus 210, Panthers plus 360, and then the Bucks plus 750. They're sitting in that New England Patriot range up in the AFC East.
They're gonna be trash.
Well, does that put it into perspective? The 3 games for Dennis.
I said 3 games too. Boom.
And that's his team, so we all better put that one in, and we gotta trust Dennis
3
on that
games.
one. Who's won the division, guys? Saints are the favorites. What do you guys have for the NFC?
I'm taking the
South?
Panthers.
Taking the Saints.
Saints, Panthers. Give me the Falcons. Worst to first. 3 different teams for
Wow.
us going here in the
Well,
NFC
hell,
South.
I think the first team to 8 wins win the division anyway.
Agreed. Maybe 7 if we're lucky there. So that'll have it here to wrap up everything for our 2 division preview, the AFC East and NFC South. Guys, closing comments here on this week's show as we get into August. Preseason coming up. We mentioned the Hall of Fame game on Thursday. Football just around the corner.
If you're a fan of football, I would say this is probably the year where you're gonna see the most parity that you can see in the NFL in a while. Yes, the Chiefs are reigning Super Bowl champions, but they got the Chargers on their heels and hopefully an improved Broncos team on their heels. So I don't think it's going to be that much of a cakewalk in the AFC West for them this year. And I think that outside of probably – no, I'll take that back. I think every division is up. Like, I don't think there won't be too many repeat winners this year in divisions.
Okay.
So we'll say that for other division previews.
We got
but,
some more to get to for
but
sure.
yeah, that's my take. And Action Jackson MVP. He wins another one.
Matt, what do you think? Closing comments here?
I mean, it's Niner gang, so you know.
Ah, my elbow.
We got some things to
elbow.
look forward to.
My elbow.
Namely, the
elbow.
Eagles.
My elbow.
Brock Purdy going to come back and going to be
my
pretty
elbow.
What'd you say? Your knee? Oh no! I scrambled and my knee hurt.
I mean, but we still played most of the season first, right?
Oh, no, that's what I say. Let's just hope all 3 of these quarterbacks stay healthy this year.
Let's
That's
hope
all we can hope
all
for.
of Baltimore stays healthy.
Well, that's
Especially
true.
the
They
running
got-
backs.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
That'll
That's
do it
this
for
guy.
us here as we close out the month of July for Jason, Matt, and myself, and of course Dennis behind the glass here at DETV. We will see you next Monday. Another 2-division preview of the NFL plus some other updates from training camp. We'll see you next week.